Hello. As it is late October, at least as of the time I am writing this and recording this, and hopefully this video will be out by Halloween, I wanted to tell some spooky stories I have learned over the years. For this video, I went to several archives in Devon, England to do research, though some of the stories that I include I did not discover in these archives. But one archive that I went to was the Folklore Library and Archive in Credington. The second was the University of Exeter's Special Collections, where I used Theo Brown's collection. Theo Brown was a folklorist from Devon, so it has been a pleasure to see her personal archive. However, because I did learn so much, I am going to save what I learned about Devon folklore from Theo Brown's archives for a future video, because it's very interesting. So today I'm just going to be focusing on werewolves, demons, ghosts, and a magic ritual. Also, I apologize if you can hear the dishwasher running in the background. I'm on vacation right now and I have a little bit of time before I have to leave, so I'm just trying to record a little bit of this video before I have to get on the train for like 10 hours, which I'm not looking forward to. But oh well. Also, I don't have any fancy recording equipment, but maybe someday, right now I only have 90 subscribers, so I don't want to buy a microphone and stuff quite yet. But in the future, if I do continue to do these, and the videos get popular, then I'll upgrade some equipment. But right now, we're just doing it the way we are. I just try to have fun making these videos. Anyway, before we get into the video, I did just want to say that December 7th is the first anniversary of my novel, Decessit Vita Matris. It will have been out for a year at that point, which I think is very exciting. So if you're interested in reading a novel about demon pregnancies, monks, knights, and the complexity of gender set in 13th century Devon, Decessit Vita Matris is available on sale on Itch.io, Amazon, and through order at your local bookstore. You will not find it in your bookstore, but if you don't want to buy through Amazon, you can order it through your local bookstore. Anyway, currently the ebook is for sale for 99 cents on Amazon as of the time of this video, and for $1.99 on Itch.io. However, due to the fact that it is about queerness and features some very dark themes, I recommend buying the physical book because, well, if you own it physically, you own it forever, and no one can take it away from you. Anyway, let's talk about some werewolves. So I think just about everyone knows about werewolves, but did you know werewolves turning into wolves at the full moon was actually a modern invention? I certainly didn't until I started researching historical werewolves, which is why my werewolf characters in my web novels, and eventually novels, do turn on the full moon, even though that is not historically accurate for the time period that the novels are set in. Whoops. Anyway, in European folklore and stories, how and why a man turns into a wolf varies. For example, in Estonian folklore, there are several different ways one might turn into a werewolf. You could go around a stone while reciting a formula, crawl through an opening, a bit like a rebirth, or wear a garment that could transform you into a wolf. This garment might be a wolfskin, a shirt, or a belt/girdle of some kind. If you, the werewolf, go the walking around the stone reciting a formula route, it's important to have someone else around who knows the formula and what you're doing. The only way to turn back is to walk around the stone backwards and have someone else recite the formula. And obviously, if you are in wolf form, you can't recite that. To cure a werewolf, you need to give them a piece of bread on the tip of a knife that was blessed on Good Friday. Also, one way you could tell werewolves apart from normal wolves is if their front two legs were shorter than their back two legs. After all, human arms are shorter than their legs, so it makes sense that a werewolf would have short front legs too. Flemish, Dutch, and German werewolf legends have 4 common versions. These are also found in other countries' werewolf legends, but I used an article that was talking specifically about Flemish, Dutch, and German werewolf legends. So anyway, there is the werewolf lover/husband, the oven legend, the wound legend, and the backrider. The werewolf lover/husband story involves a woman who gets attacked by a werewolf while her male partner is gone. However, later on, she figures out he was the one who attacked her because she sees thread matching the clothes she was wearing the day she was attacked in his teeth. The oven legend involves a farmhand of some sort who owns either a wolf skin or a belt that can turn him into a wolf. He hides it away, usually in a hollow tree, and eventually it is found. Whoever discovers it sends the farmhand away on some errand so they can burn it without him knowing. The farmhand figures out that they're going to burn his wolf skin, and he rushes back to save it. However, he's too late, and the belt is destroyed. Then he is relieved to be rid of it. In the wound legend, the werewolf is hurt in some way in his wolf form, and then when he's in his human form, he is recognized as a werewolf because of the unhealed wound. Finally, with the backrider story, a werewolf jumps on someone's back and is carried for a certain distance, all while grabbing, licking, and clinging to them. Occasionally, they even urinate on the person carrying them. Willem de Bledcourt argues that this is a metaphor for sexual encounters. Anyway, onto demons. Our tidbits about demons come from the Annals of Flodard of Reims. So in the year 944 in Paris, an intense storm hit the city. The storm was so strong that it destroyed a very old house in Montmartre. The house was said to be built with the strongest cement. Apparently, people saw demons taking the forms of horsemen around the area, and these demons destroyed a nearby church when the church's beams blew into the house. To make matters worse, these demonic horsemen also tore all the vines growing on the hill out of the dirt and destroyed all the crops. Then, in the year 962 AD, on September 8th, which was the Nativity of the Virgin Mary, there was an incident with one of Queen Gilberta's servants, or possibly her slave or serf. The word used in the text is servus, which means either servant, slave, or serf, which is why it's unclear. This man was possessed by a demon, which caused him to run naked through an unspecified church. He ran up to the altar, where he collapsed. It looked like he was dead, but after a bit, he got to his feet, and he was no longer possessed. Alright, now it's time to talk about some ghosts. As of the time I'm recording this, I live in England, and it seems about 50% of the old towns and cities I've visited, and I've not visited every single city or town in England, claim to be England's most haunted town. Don't quote me on those numbers, that's just my observation, and I have not done any statistical research into how many places claim to be the most haunted. I'm being a bit hyperbolic. That being said, there are some fun ghost stories from these haunted towns, and today I'm going to be focusing on Exeter and Devon. One such story is that of a ghostly Viking ship haunting the quayside by the River Exe. Personally, I've never seen it, nor heard anyone actually talk about it, but according to the paranormal database, it is a story being told. I heard this next ghost story while on one of the Redcoat tours that they have in Exeter. This particular tour is actually for ghost stories. It was a lot of fun. I recommend going on one if you're ever in Exeter. So, St. Catherine's Almshouse, which you can see from the video, is now in ruins. It did not survive World War II intact, and it was built on the site of an old Roman fort. It's been reported that Roman ghosts haunt the area around St. Catherine's Almshouse. It's been told to me that late at night, one can see the ghostly specters of men dressed in Roman centurion garb on their nightly patrols. Occasionally, they are joined by the spirits of Roman ladies in their stolas and pallas. They calmly walk Catherine Street without a care in the world, and seemingly without the knowledge that they are dead. Now it's time to learn about some magical rituals from a medieval magical text. Picatrix is a medieval grimoire that originates from the Arabic world. The original Arabic text was written in the 10th century and called The Goal of the Sage. Eventually, the Arabic text was translated into Castilian Spanish by King Alfonso sometime between 1256 and 1258. The text says it was translated, quote, "In the year of the Lord 1256, in the year of Alexander 1568, in the year of Caesar 1295, and in the Arab year 655. Unquote. However, if you've seen my video on medieval feast days and the medieval calendar, you will know why modern dating for any sort of medieval text is a bit wonky. And if you've not, I recommend checking it out. Eventually, the Castilian Spanish text was translated into Latin. Funnily enough, The Goal of the Sage was actually censored a bit when it was translated from Arabic into Castilian Spanish and Latin. This was for Christian sensibilities. Sections that were removed included quotes from the Quran, as were rituals about same-sex relations. However, some sections were not censored, and those include rituals that involve animal and human body parts as ingredients. Now, before I start talking about some of the rituals I found, I must include this disclaimer. Do not try these at home. For one, some of the materials are deadly poisons, And others, well, I'm not sure where you can ethically obtain human remains for magical rituals, so don't do it. One ethically questionable ritual involves using human testicles for a youthful appearance. Quote, "The testicles of a man, dried, pulverized, and eaten with incense, mastic gum, cinnamon, and cloves, makes a man truly younger and gives him an exceptionally good color." Unquote. Now, if you're a CEO obsessed with anti-aging watching this video and thinking that using this ritual will stop yourself from aging, stop thinking that. And also, if you are a rich billionaire CEO watching my video, perhaps consider becoming a monthly patron. Also, apparently putting the right arm of a human and a greyhound head in someone's house is an effective way to prevent lies. Now, this might be magic, or it might be a completely unhinged thing to do and be seen as a threat, so they might tell you the truth. I don't know. Picatrix does not explain how that is supposed to work. Now, if you want to do a spell that involves perhaps a more ethical way to obtain human byproducts, you could always use breast milk. Quote, "Whoever is feverish or suffering from a headache should anoint their head with the milk of a woman, and it will remove the pain. The milk of a woman with opium causes the feverish and insomniacs to fall asleep." Unquote. Again, don't use these. You can just take like an aspirin or something. This is, again, for entertainment purposes only. Don't mess around with opium. Okay, finally, our last spell, which I am imploring people not to mess around with, involves animal blood for blinding people. Quote, "For blinding by suffumigation, take the blood of a dog, an ass, a cat, a goat, and a cow in equal parts. Mix all these bloods and place them over a low fire until they are blended. Afterwards, add ground arsenic and an equal part of sublimated mercury. Then mix them all and throw them into a single container. Seal it very well with luting and place it in dung until it rots. Next, take it out and beware of its odor. If you place a ½ ounce of this mixture in a fire, whoever ingests the smoke will have their vision blotted out by darkness, such that they will never see light again. The cure? Take fennel sap and green coriander, mix them, and place them over the eyes. From that moment, they will be cured of blindness." Unquote. Now, I'm not a scientist, and I'm trying to have this video out before Halloween, so I've not gone onto a scientific deep dive for this spell. But I would have to wager that arsenic and mercury is doing a lot of the heavy lifting here. And also, yeah, I would guess that arsenic and mercury fumes would cause blindness. Also, I'm not sure that I believe that fennel sap and green coriander would cure blindness after putting these fumes in your eyes. But again, I've not done the scientific research behind it, so for right now, I am just saying, don't do this. Don't use it. This is for entertainment purposes only. Alright, so that is going to be our video for today. I hope everyone has a happy and safe Halloween this year. And before I end the video, I would like to thank my patrons, Mateus and Carl, over on Patreon for their support. Paid members get to see early versions of scripts, works in progress of my web novels, and discussions of what I am researching, and the occasional art piece and travel photos. I try to post at least once a month, but usually I post twice a month. If you're interested in becoming a patron, please do check out my Patreon. Tiers start at $1 a month, and everything is accessible even at the lowest tier. Every bit of support really helps, especially as I am going to be moving soon. So thank you, and goodbye until next time, where I will hopefully be talking about Cistercian nuns.